Thank you so much. Give your host a hand. Oh, thank you. That's awesome, man. I'm getting fat. I am. I've put on some weight. I've been struggling with it for the last 19 years. It's been a bitch. No, sir, I appreciate you saying out loud so everyone heard you that I'm not fat. I mean, that's awesome, man. You gave me the best compliment. But you have a different optics. You're looking at me straight on. They have a different view, okay? What they see is like, I thought Tony Soprano died. No? Santa Claus do stand up in the off season? What is up with this guy? Oh shit, I tried to lose weight though, I did, man. I actually, like a year ago, I got my Apple Watch because it has really cool features. It was like, it tracks your heart rate, it tracks, your steps, it tracks that you don't get sex, it tracks a lot of things. And I was like, well, but after a couple days, I was like, I forgot that those things existed. Then 6 months later, I go to a football game, and I have to park like a mile from the stadium. So I start walking, and all of a sudden my watch is like vibrating on my wrist. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it said, looks like you're doing some type of fitness activity. Shall I record this? My watch sensed movement it has never experienced the entire time it had been on my wrist and thought, we need to get this on tape. So, now my watch is just something else I disappoint on a daily basis. So, man, I'll tell you what. I'm a veteran. Hey, let's give it up for veterans. Veterans Day is coming up, right? Yeah. I did 26 years active duty. Again, sir, with the compliments. I know I don't look like I've done 26 years in the service. I appreciate that, I do. He's like, what's your secret? I was in the Air Force. In the 90s. It was like 11 years. I didn't even know I was serving. So, it wasn't the cool service we know now, right? It was a little bit different back then. But I was lucky to get in, man. I really was, because I did really bad in high school. I graduated 94th at 95 students. This because number 95 rarely showed up. Actually, you met him. He's a comic. He came up earlier. No, dude, I tell you, I did bad, man. But you know what? You still had to take aptitude tests. If there's any veterans in the room, remember ASVABs? So those that aren't getting into college, I'm looking at you guys. You got to take ASVAB tests, right? There's 4 tests, 100 points each, determines what skill you should do in the military, what trade you should do in the military. 4 tests. I scored 136. I got an A+. No, that was across all 4 tests. Yeah, man, I didn't do well at all. I was like, I'm going to shop these scores to the 4 military branches. I did talk to the Coast Guard. They're like, dude, we're good, man. We've got our 10 people. So I think the Coast Guard didn't want me. I actually wanted to join the Marine Corps. I showed up. I think they were there, but I think they glow crawled and held the door closed. They're like, we got enough idiots in the Corps. We don't need any more. Damn, man, y'all really pro-military in here. I said, you know what? Air Force said, we'll take you. I said, that's fantastic. What kind of planes you gonna have me working on? They're like, oh, we don't want you near planes. How do you feel about spatulas? Yeah, I spent the next 6 weeks of professional military training to essentially say, would you like fries with that? I had a great career, man. I had an awesome time. I did. I enjoyed my time. It actually led to my current job. I worked for the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration. Yeah, sometimes people yell narc. But no, it's cool, man. I'm not an agent. I'm a federal employee, which means I don't give a shit. Just like most of them. But it was super cool when I got the gig, man. I was like, I'm gonna work for the DA. What kind of gun you guys gonna let me carry? They're like, ooh, how do you feel about spatulas? All right, my name's Vinny Lombardi. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much.